Hey everyone, welcome to ChefConf 2022. I'm Prashanth and I head the product function. Thanks for joining us virtually. We are bummed that we couldn't meet you in person in Boston, but hopefully next year. Nonetheless, I'm super pumped, and me and my team are very excited to talk to you all after a year. Last year has been very interesting and exciting for us. We have been heads down building some awesome things that hopefully has reached to you and made an impact. And we are also excited to share what we are going to work on in 2023. Product and engineering team has been very engaged with our customers, community members, practitioners, and that has helped us understand what are the expectations from you all and what is working, what is not working. I want to take a moment to thank all of you to be so open and participative and provide feedback, especially when things weren't going as well. And so that has been very important for us. And this has come through our ideas, community Slack, success Slack, and also through our customer facing teams, specifically customer architects and customer success managers. In addition to that, we did a product survey, and that gave us a lot of insights. While we are finding out all the details, we thought we will give you a quick preview of that and also call out some of the things that has helped us make decisions on the 2023 roadmap as well. Let me introduce my team before I get started on the roadmap or the main topic itself. So with me, I have Stephen, who leads product for Chef Infra and App Delivery, and Sharon, who leads Chef product line around compliance and security, and Nishchal, who leads platform, which composes of Automate, SaaS, cloud, and many other marketplace and many other initiatives. So let's look at how our past year has been. Looking back, we started building capabilities and tools which gave you a lot of flexibility to create automation through infrastructure as code, compliance as code, and policy as code. But when we started introspecting, we started to realize that we need to make our products easy to use and build solutions which deliver more value to you all and also in a shorter time as well. So over the last 2 years, our focus has shifted towards delivering more value rather than discrete features. In that effort, we have built out host of solutions over the last year. While it's a long list, but I thought we will take this opportunity to give you a quick recap and glimpse into some of the key releases, key value that we have delivered. With that, let me ask Nishchal to talk about some of them.
All right. Thank you, Prashanth. So let me start with a major initiative that we have been working on, which is providing flexible deployment models. We understand that each organization is different and they have different needs for scale, uptime, management, control, and security. So we have been working on providing flexible deployment options so that organizations can choose the model that works best for them. First and foremost is on-prem, which has been supported from a very long time. You can set up Automate on-prem, or you can also set up Chef Infra server in a standalone mode. Apart from on-prem, we also support 3 more models. First is Chef SaaS. I will talk more about SaaS in a dedicated slide, but this is specifically a good option if you don't want the hassle of setting up and maintaining Chef environment. Chef SaaS lets you access all Chef products in a cloud environment that is run and maintained by Chef, which not only gives you assurance, but also ensures you always have access to latest features. Next is Marketplace. We have made Automate images available on AWS and Azure marketplaces. You'll be able to set up Automate instance with click of a button. Not just that, Marketplaces also enables you to tap into cloud spend or budgets that are already allocated for AWS and Azure, which makes the whole procurement process fast and hassle-free. This is a good option for customers who want to get started on cloud while trying to use their existing cloud spends. Finally, we also have high availability deployment model called as Automate HA. This enables you to set up Automate in a high available cluster. This will specifically be useful if you have critical infrastructure and want to ensure you provide high uptime and availability. Most of these deployment models are already available for you to try. And if you are specifically interested to try SaaS, reach out to your account executive or customer success manager. Now let's move on to another improvement we delivered in Automate that enables users to do more and more management tasks right from the UI. This feature is called infra server views. You can connect and manage all infra server objects on an existing infra server. The objects that we currently support are listed on the slide, except cookbooks and policy groups, where you can only perform read-only actions. We support create, read, and delete operations on all the other objects. Before this feature was implemented, users had to do all these tasks from the command line interface, like CLI tool. This feature is our effort towards bringing more and more capabilities to the UI. We will continue to keep enhancing not just infra server views, but also bring other workflows and tasks to the UI in the future as well. Next, I'm going to talk about a feature which lets you send Chef client run and compliance scan data to external systems. The feature is called data feed. So data feed lets you move client run and compliance scan data to external systems like configuration management databases, or to IT service management tools to create incidents, or to external data warehouses to build customer reporting. It works in the following way. Every 4 hours, it will gather client run and compliance scan reports and sends this data to configured external data source or service. We support 2 types of integrations, webhook-based and storage-based. Under webhook, we support ServiceNow, Splunk, ELK, and integrations with custom webhooks. Under storage-based, we support Amazon S3 and Minio. Both infra server views and data feed are available today. So do give it a try and let us know your feedback. So with that, I will hand it over to Stephen, who will talk about IoT and edge device management.
Thank you, Nishant. In addition to integrations and extensions, we've identified IoT and edge as an area to extend our value with Habitat. In fact, we currently have adoption by 2 very large-scale customers, and they're realizing significant value in the savings of time and effort, as well as significantly increased velocity with installs and updates. They've done this by deploying Habitat to all of their IoT and edge devices. This has given them the capability to nearly fully automate the critical applications they run on those devices from a single pane of glass. We see this as an extremely exciting development, and we look forward to seeing a significant amount of growth in the IoT and edge use cases in the coming months and years. Sharon, what's going on with security?
So one of the major steps we took earlier this year was the launch of Chef Cloud Security Solution. With this launch, we entered into the cloud foray. We now provide the best practices for all major cloud providers like AWS, Azure, and GCP. Additionally, we also provide the best practices for Kubernetes and Docker, and all of that based on the CIS benchmark. Customers can also build their own custom policies using our backend Chef and Spec resources. Again, all of this supported by our strong visibility and governance framework, where we give you that multi-cloud reporting with very easy to read, flexible scan reports, and detailed view on what is actually going wrong within your environment. And eventually you can take all of the data into third-party tools like ServiceNow, Kibana, or Splunk, or any of the other tools through the API integration that we provide. From a Chef compliance perspective, we launched a bunch of content, both for audit as well as remediation. So support for newer and updated versions of operating systems like CentOS, Red Hat Linux, newer updated versions of databases like Oracle, PostgreSQL, even newer versions of web servers like Tomcat, Nginx. So these were some of the key highlights from a Chef compliance perspective. To basically summarize, we have broadly added around 60 audit and 40 remediation content with respect to CIS, and 8 audit and 6 remediation content with respect to stick benchmarks. Our support towards cloud and container security continues, so we have added newer CIS benchmarks for both Docker Enterprise Edition as well as Kubernetes. Finally, we continue to enable you to also write custom profiles for the ever-growing list of cloud services. We today support more than 500 plus cloud resources across AWS, Azure, and GCP. So you not only get to meet your share of cloud security responsibility, besides cloud service providers, but you also get to meet some of your internal security policies. We also do have a dedicated session, which will cover some of the other key benefits and features that comes with Chef Compliance in 2022. So please tune in to that session so you get more details from there. So with that, I hand it over to Prashanth to take us into the next steps.
Thanks, folks, for giving an overview of some of the key value that we delivered over the last year. I think we're switching over to what's ahead, right? When we, like I was mentioning previously, our focus has moved from building discrete features to building capabilities which will help solve the problems that you are struggling with on a day-to-day basis. We believe the solutions and capabilities that we build will help you solve the problems that you and your team are eager to work on or solve in a fast and consistent manner. We are working on a host of these capabilities and solutions over the next year or so. While I'm excited to share all the details, but let me take a quick detour and talk about how we got here. And this wouldn't have been possible without your involvement in shaping up our roadmap. Product and engineering team has been engaging with you all in various channels, various forums to get valuable feedback. Of course, all the work that we have been doing is driven by customer need, but I want to take a few examples and call how the input that you provided has helped us shape what we have to be focused on. Let's talk a little bit about SaaS and CSPM. Both of these products are now available in early access, and you can reach out to us if you want to try this or learn more about it. But we got to this position by working with some of you and collecting the input that you gave and manifesting that into product or features, or even it helped us shape go-to-market strategy too. Especially Chef SaaS. Right? We launched the beta program last year in ChefConf, and more than 20 organizations wanted to be part of the beta program, and they came forward in a matter of a few weeks. Then we spoke to many of them, all of them in multiple conversations, and understood where they stand and what is the best fitment between us and their need for beta program. And after that, we proceeded and got about 6 adopters early adopters for beta program. And the combination of the 6 beta adopters and 20 organizations which had expressed interest, we were able to identify features that needed to be built out for early access, which is currently live, and also identify the pricing model that works from a customer's perspective, and also the go-to-market, which we think is centric from a customer perspective, and this wouldn't have been possible without all of your involvement. And CSPM is also something similar, but it has a different touch, where the need for a cloud security posture management was expressed explicitly in various forums through you all. And upon talking and understanding what are the specific need and working closely with our customer-facing teams, we realized that we have discrete features within our toolkit, at least to solve most of the problems that you are looking towards us to solve them. Then the matter was fairly simple. We had to work with the customers who had expressed this need, and then devise a solution which could solve this problem of getting visibility into security posture and compliance posture in cloud. Switching gears a bit into things that are currently in early stages of development is job orchestration service, reporting and insights. Job orchestration service is one of the highest requested ideas in our idea portal. It is requested either as a push-like job model, or agentless model, or many other names, where the need was very clearly understood, because there was explicit, detailed problem statements that were articulated. And from that point onwards, we had a focused conversation with a few customers to understand their specific need, and then based on these conversations, we are able to define an MVP, or the basic set of features that needs to be built for you to start using this. And hopefully we are going on the right track, and we will be launching an early access to it sometime next year. But and that wouldn't also have been possible without your involvement. And here I ask for more involvement. If you and your organization is looking for such solution, please reach out to us, and our conversations help both of us. Similarly, in compliance reports and insights, while we recognize the reporting capabilities that were there in Automate was basic, what should we focus on first is a question that we were struggling to get a very specific answer to. And that's where our community and customers help. So we did a series of interviews with experts in security domain, people who work in CISO organization, security analysts, or compliance auditors within our customer base. We reached out to them. We did a series of interviews and also user research to identify what metrics matter most to them. And do they need reports? Do they need dashboards? What is more important? And this has helped us carefully curate the list of features that needs to be built, and not just list of features, how it should be presented to a specific person. Yeah, a CISO is looking for something different as compared to an IT operator or a DevSecOps DevOps engineer. So how do we differentiate this need of different personas was made possible through these research activities. And we also conducted product survey. There are certain statistics, certain insights that I would like to share, and those are important because they help shape our roadmap as well. Before looking at the insights, I want to take a moment to thank you all for participating. We ran this survey for about 1.5 to 2 months, and we got about 150 unique surveys responses for the survey. And we have got a good mix of customers as well as paying customers as well as open source users. And what is more interesting is the user roles. Right? If you look at it, most of them are practitioners, either security or IT ops practitioners. So that has been very, very valuable. And in addition to that, the fact that we are seeing about more than 600 free flow feedback. It was open-ended question, and we have got more than 4 on an average, more than 4 such response per user, which tells that you care, and these are qualitative answers. While most of the questions were quantitative, these qualitative answers will give us more color into the option that you selected as your preferred one. So thank you all, and I'll request Nischal to kind of give a high-level insights on what did you find the most useful and where do you want us to focus in terms of improvements.
Thanks, Prashanth. So there were 2 interesting questions. One around the value that the users are getting from Chef. Second is the areas of improvement. So let me first start by talking about the value our users are getting by using Chef. So we had a question in the survey where we asked our users the biggest value they get by using Chef software. And the responses were in line with our expectations. And on this slide, I have listed top 5 themes that we have observed. A lot of the respondents said automating configuration management and doing compliance monitoring is where they see a lot of value using Chef, which is not surprising given these are the core use cases of Chef. And on a slightly related note, users also said doing consistent deployments and configurations across their fleet is another big value they get. And then another value they see is ability to represent infra as code instead of manually doing the same, which enables them to, one, automate all their configurations and tasks, but also helps them save time and move fast. So these were, top 5 themes that we observed on the question of the biggest value they get by using Chef. Now let's move on to the next interesting question where we got tremendous response. So we had a question where we asked the areas of improvement in Chef, right? And these are the top 5 themes that we observed. The first 2 themes are slightly related. One is making Chef easy to use and making upgrades easy. So we've been getting consistent feedback to simplify not just existing workflows and tasks, but also to make the upgrade journey specifically for Chef client easy. So we acknowledge that that we have room for improvement in both the areas, and in fact we have already started working on both these areas. My colleague Sharon will talk about how we are streamlining compliance scan workflows, and my colleague Stephen will talk about how we are working on making client upgrades more seamless. Another frequently and consistently requested feature is push model, right? Customers shared different scenarios where they want to proactively push changes to the nodes instead of waiting for nodes to do the check-in. Again, this is another area that we have started actively working on, and my colleague Stephen is going to talk more about how we plan to solve this. Next two areas are for improvement around enhancing reporting and improving our documentation and providing more learning resources. While we will continue to improve documentation, we have put special focus to do more engagement with community while providing informational content through things like webinars, blogs, Twitch streams, so on and so forth. So we'll continue to keep sharing new updates, feature enhancements, so on and so forth, and we'll continue to engage with the community. While we are working on addressing the feedback, but we would love to hear from you all. So if there are specific areas you think we should improve, please feel free to share with us. And there are a couple of ways to do that. There are a couple of channels through which you can share your feedback. One, we have something called AHA Idea Portal. So you can log any new ideas or feature requests in AHA Idea Portal, and product managers will consistently be monitoring for new ideas, and they will triage those ideas to our roadmap. And you can also, we conduct product roadmap sessions pretty regularly. So if you are interested in one, you can reach out to your account manager or customer success manager. They can help schedule a call with us, and then you can talk directly with us and share feedback with us. So with that, I will hand it over to Prashanth, where he will talk about top 5 voted feature requests via product survey. Over to you, Prashanth.
We asked all of our participants, if you had 100 points, where would you put these points on, or what feature would you vote or allocate these points to? And it's not a surprise to see a lot of overlap between this and this previous slide where we saw input about areas of improvement. So it is very obvious from this that we need to get better at enabling faster upgrade of Chef clients. And and this is on our radar. We will hear more on that shortly. And the other two, which are very close, at least from an ask perspective, they might be different, but the way we are approaching to solve that is going to address the scheduling jobs as well as agentless model. These two are also on our radar, and you will hear about this and when it is going to be available shortly. And while we have out-of-the-box integration with a few tools like ServiceNow, Elasticsearch, Kibana, Splunk, Microsoft Slack, and a few others, we will look forward to the other insights that we have got in the survey, and we will see how best we can support you in the aspect of integration with IT operational tool support. And the last one, while this is not an exhaustive list, this is top 5, and the 5th one is ability to manage your container environments. While we with the launch of Chef Cloud Security Posture Management, you will be able to solve some of the problems in security and compliance posture management. We will work with you closely to understand what are the other aspects in which we can help you in managing the container environment. With that, let me switch over to kind of summarize what to expect in 2023 by virtue of providing feedback directly or indirectly to us. And it is very evident, or we have considered your feedback and ensured that our product roadmap is focused on helping things that will give more value to you in a faster and consistent manner. So the 3 themes that you will see is easy to use and easy to upgrade. May it be Chef Client, may it be Automate, any software that we build, we want it to be easier and eventless update process. And one of the things that I am super excited is job orchestration service. While our focus last year was on bringing SaaS and cloud security posture management to market, this year we will be focusing on making our making our product use in a broader use cases. And we believe job orchestration service will help you get that flexibility and also the power of Chef, which works in a large scale. And third aspect will be around cloud help, cloud migration, cloud adoption, may it be cloud security or SaaS or marketplace. This is another place where we want to be along with you on your journey towards cloud. Nishal, back to you to talk about how are we doing this, or how are we, under the hoods, building all these things through a platform approach.
So as you might all know, that Chef evolved as an open source project, which had different tools like Chef Client, InfraServer, Inspect, Kitchen, so on and so forth. So there were patterns and processes through which we made these tools to work together to accomplish workloads like configuration management, compliance scanning, application delivery, and so on and so forth. But this approach had its own drawbacks. It provided disjointed experience across these tools. It made upgrading all these components hard. And there are different tools that did the same job. For example, you can use either Manage UI or Automate for dashboards, right? So to reduce these pain points, we are embarking down on a journey of platformization of Chef Suite. And we are calling this as Enterprise Automation Platform. The goal with this platform is to provide a unified, cohesive experience across all of Chef services and offerings. And we will do this by adapting, integrating existing processes and components, and where necessary, building new components that will make the whole experience seamless. Finally, we also want to ensure that we will be able to access same platform regardless of the channel, like be it on-prem, SaaS, or marketplace. You'll be able to access same platform and feature set across all these channels. And finally, we also want to have policy as code at the center of how the platform will shape up. And if you are interested to learn more about Chef platform strategy, we have a dedicated session on this. I would highly recommend you to attend that session and learn more about how Chef platform strategy is shaping up and how you can benefit out of this. So with this, I will move on to the next part, which is SaaS. So this is another major initiative that is heavily influenced by customer needs. And we have been getting feedback from customers through multiple channels like AHA Ideas and direct conversations, as well as through product survey. Specifically, I would like to call about a product survey where we had 1/3 of the respondents requesting for SaaS offering. So customers were asking for SaaS offering because they wanted to reduce the amount of effort spent on installing, upgrading, and maintaining the Chef environment. And rather, customers wanted to spend their time configuring their infrastructure by creating cookbooks. And they did not want to spend time on setting up and upgrading their environment. They wanted an offering that would let them delegate these tasks and concentrate on what mattered most for their business. Things like ensuring systems are properly configured and are compliant. So we started working on this new offering mid last year, and we initially started with a beta offering. We had good response from customers who tried it out and provided feedback. We did a couple of iterations based on customer feedback, and currently Chef SaaS is in early access stage. So with Chef SaaS, you'll get access to all new features, and you can also scale your usage as your business grows. And finally, you will also have access to all of the current and future Chef products and services. So if you are interested to learn more about Chef SaaS, have a dedicated session. We have a dedicated session where my colleague Mark will cover in detail on what's available today and what's coming next on Chef SaaS. I'll be handing it over to Sharon, who will be talking about compliance and security related enhancements.
Thank you, Nishal. So based on our customer feedback and partner voice, we have focused our attention towards addressing newer personas. For example, focusing towards CISO as a persona, where we will provide a quick executive summary of all the assets, both the ones which are under audit scanning and the ones which are under, which are basically pending audit scanning. From a remediation manager perspective, we'll help them to quickly identify that particular failed control that needs the most attention in terms of being a long-lasting problem, being something most severe, as well as the one which is impacting the most number of assets. So this will enable them to dedicate their time towards these key controls which have failed and solve it at the earliest. Our focus towards CSPM continues as we gather more customer feedback and tune our vision towards it. One of the steps we are taking towards it is giving you that single flow and a set of fewer easy steps to get your posture checked for cloud and container security. Again, this comes through our feedback from some of our customers, where this feature is specifically tuned towards CISOs. We continue to enable you to build your custom profiles seamlessly from a user interface perspective. We add more support to expand your coverage of resources and cloud services. As the usage of cloud increases rampantly with some of our leading customers, indicating that they today use millions and thousands of cloud resources, there is a need to have audit checks on it at the same time. As Chef, we enable our customers to execute multiple checks on their system at the same time and have them run parallelly. So this helps them to save time from the sequential execution and also enables them to get a consolidated real or near real-time view of their environment at one go. It also enables them to scale to millions of resources. We have a dedicated session on how we enable scale and parallelism in cloud security. Please make sure that you attend that as well to get more details. And as Podman and OpenShift container technologies start getting traction, we will continue to enable you to build custom profiles for compliance, internal policies, and security checks across containers, as well as perform auditing across your networks, pods, or your version checks. One of the existing paths that we are also looking is towards the ability to enable you to scan your registry images for misconfigurations before you deploy to production. You can also build your own security policies as part of CI/CD pipeline, and this helps you to shift left and induce security at the earliest possible phase in the development process, dramatically improving your time to fix. Finally, we also venture into the managed Kubernetes world, giving you that ability to validate Kubernetes configurations such as Amazon, Azure, and Google Kubernetes, as well as many other cloud provider managed Kubernetes systems. We do have a dedicated session on some of the exciting things and updates around Chef Cloud Security. Please tune into that session for more details. With that, let's do a short preview on how we are looking to enable a quick and easy way to get started with your audit checks for cloud environments.
In this short video, we'll show a new project we're working on to bring both a new user interface to the Chef products and improved ease of use. The specific scenario John will show here is how we've re-envisioned the core cloud compliance journey to literally make it a few clicks to determine whether an AWS subscription follows the policy we've selected. This is the first view of the new login screen, which is the entry point to this new UI, designed to work with existing products and future services, both in the cloud and in containers. The new UI provides extensible theme support for different environments, as well as an approachable look and feel for finding tasks we want to do quickly. Once we've logged in, we see a quick action screen pop up, which gives us a common jumping off point into various Chef applications. The one we're interested in today is the new 3 easy steps for cloud compliance in the lower left, so we'll click there to navigate to the new journey. This gives us an enhanced way to use Inspect to perform audit scans of cloud assets like AWS and Azure in only a few clicks. We refactored the welcome dialog to allow for faster time to value. This means that after installation, when there are no identified nodes or policies, we have the opportunity to easily identify this context and start our cloud compliance journey. Here we see the detailed 3-step process. Without having to leave this page, we can choose the target nodes we want to run the scan against, choose the profiles we want to apply to these resources, and then we'll see a button to run the audit now. For a fresh installation, each step will make it easy to discover and add our cloud assets and appropriate policies for our cloud compliance scan. This was a problem we identified within Chef Automate. In the old scan jobs area, we had to back out of this process several times to link accounts and download profiles. Now we can do all those actions in the same workflow. For example, From here, we can actually link cloud accounts, and the interface will go out and discover the available set of nodes and display them so that we can include some or all of them in the scan. Since we named this scan, the wizard will also give us the account settings and selected nodes for reuse in the future. Same goes for profiles. On the second step, if there are no profiles preloaded, we can search and get profiles from our library to use immediately. After choosing the profiles, we then have the option to either create a recurring scan, set a future time to run the scan, or run the scan immediately. But we'll just wait for that to finish and see the notification in the upper right corner by the bell icon. That'll signify that we know our report is ready. Clicking on that notification can take us to the scan results. This is just one example of a detailed view of the compliance scan results. We're currently exploring new ways to do more types of reports and dashboards. So from a fresh install with potentially no nodes or profiles identified, we walk through the cloud compliance scan process and now have actionable information to assess our fleet's compliance state. That's our demo. Thanks for watching. We'll have a deep dive session later in the schedule here on how we built this UI. See you at the rest of ChefConf, and cheers.
I hope you enjoyed a quick preview of what's being worked on. Of course, it's a very small step and also a very small demo, but we wanted to give you guys a sneak peek into how we are thinking of simplifying usage of our product. While the policy as code or compliance as code, infrastructure as code, as a code is at the center of everything that we do, but we believe that should not make things complex for you to start using the product. So we want to give you easy ways to get started and a standard set of patterns that you can use, but underlying, you have the capability to go in a full-fledged manner and continue to retain that flexibility that you always had with Chef products. If you want to know how this is being built, you can meet our in-house geeks, Brian and John, who are doing a dedicated session in ChefConf on what are the choices of technologies they have made and what are the paradigms of user experience that they're thinking of to build this new set of user experiences going forward in 2023.
Awesome. So in order to realize the full benefits of new features and functionality that we release, it's important that as many people as possible are able to be on the latest versions of Chef software. Toward that end, we're making major improvements to ease the process of upgrading itself. We're doing this by combining existing Chef components with new capabilities and tying everything together. In future versions of Chef, clients and capabilities will become both modular and parallelized. And we're doing that so that the deployers can interchangeably run two versions of a given client. By allowing two versions to run simultaneously, the deployers can select per user or per cookbook operation against the proper client for those operations. We think this will enable accelerated adoption of new capabilities while at the same time de-risking the deployments typically associated with adding new clients or functionality at scale. Now, speaking of new capabilities, one of the most exciting upcoming releases we have on our roadmap is the job orchestration service. This will be an industry-leading capability for provisioning jobs at scale and with deep granularity. With this capability, we will be able to orchestrate in 3 dimensions: time, targets, and actions, with all 3 being first-class citizens for flexibility and configuration workflow. Imagine setting up a job to run every Tuesday evening for a specific grouping of servers, except on weeks following major corporate events or holidays, and then also skipping servers within the target group that are missing a set of prerequisites. That's just one basic example of what this will enable for the user base, and we're really excited about rolling this out. Along with rolling that out, we'd like to double down on our ease of use of the components that we already have deployed. Now, Workstation is something that nearly every one of our customers or people in the user base operates under. And over time, we've discovered a set of common functions that is just repeated again and again. What we've done with that is we've wrapped those around the UI so that we can intuitively help our customer and user base either bring up new users into the system and familiarize them with Chef, as well as taking existing users and just making their job that much easier. And we're going to be rolling that out in the coming month as well. Finally, on the application side, as I mentioned before with IoT, bringing policy as code to the edge is something we're really excited about. And to make sure that we can do that all the way to the edge with the IoT devices, we will be rolling out ARM support with our Habitat packaging to enable as many IoT devices as possibly covered with this capability. Prashanth, would you like to wrap it all up for us?
To sum up, our focus will be to deliver continuous value and to you in a consistent and an efficient manner. And our focus this year will be on these three themes. One is easy to use and upgrade. And second is to provide you more flexibility in terms of how you can use Chef tool and which works in scale and does not let you compromise with respect to automation through job orchestration service. And of course, we partner with you in your cloud migration or cloud adoption journey, where if you are trying to use cloud native solutions, we want to provide the security and compliance solution for that. And also look at how we can bring our products onto cloud, may it be SaaS or marketplace, so that you can embrace cloud as per your organization's need. And we want to partner you in that journey. Thanks again for joining us. There are many more sessions throughout the ChefConf. Do visit them. And these sessions are not just by Chef, but majority of the sessions are from our users and community members and customers. So do participate in them and reach out to us if you have any questions or if you want to learn more about anything that we spoke today. Thank you.